Hey guys, how's it going? Hobo Yeti here. It's the end of the day. It's I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? I I can't tell. 5 o'clock. Got 2 hours till sunset. But it's like this gloomy thing that it does here, which is okay, you know. I don't know. I just went to the library and just kind of got cleaned up. Did a basic trim my goatee so it's not all crazy and stuff, and shaved and kind of washed up. You know, I need that. It's kind of grooming habits are important because you get to a point where you're just like, what's the point? You know, the last, now it's gone on 3 or 4 days that I'm doing okay, but man, the MDD, the depression is just, it's hard. It's tough. It's like my brain is like, it doesn't have enough gas to run the vehicle, so it keeps on chugging, trying to choke, try to choke and get things done, but it just not happening. But anyway, sometimes it's a real struggle, and I don't know. I mean, I'm doing better than I've done before, right? I'm doing better than like last month or something, but I don't know. I'm just it's a struggle, you know. Life, being homeless, life is a struggle. I mean, I try to put on a good face and I try to be more positive and stuff. And in a lot of ways, things are a lot better than they were last year, you know. But when the depression hits, it's just like, it's like being in Florida and getting off a plane and then walking out into that humidity. It's or like jumping in like cold water or something. It's like it saturates you, every cell of your body, and like there's no room for anything else except for that negative, persistent feeling. And so I don't know. It's a struggle. It is, but one of the things I find very satisfying is coming back to my tent. Like right now, it's a little bit quieter. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's a parking lot way over there, and but I'll hear like all kinds of car alarms going off or people doing their bass, and I don't know. That's frustrating, but I like being out in nature. I mean, just being surrounded by nature, and even though it is still technically, I guess it's still winter, right? Maybe it's spring. It's not officially spring yet, but with all the moss and everything that goes out here, the lichen, and it stays green, and even people's lawns and stuff like that are green. Because as long as there's water, rainwater or other water, I mean, for some reason, and it doesn't really get below freezing here very often, so everything stays pretty green. That's nice, just for the spirit, you know. I guess the best part though is coming out here to my tent. I'm far enough away. I'd prefer to be further away, and just kind of be in my own space and have like the area around me be empty of people and critters. Every now and again, there's some critters here. There's raccoons living in a stump over there, and there's squirrels and rats and coyotes and stuff. That not a big deal. They don't really get uppity. The coyotes do. About every fifth night, they'll get uppity when they hear a siren. But and man, the thing is until I came here. Like, I mean, I've heard coyotes in the night, I've lived in New Mexico and stuff, but like, I don't know, like, I guess I never really paid that much attention, but it's not like a wolf call. It's kind of like, sometimes I'll hear the coyotes and I'll be laying down, I'll be listening to an audiobook or something, or watching a TV show or something, and I'll have to stop it and listen because it sounds like somebody's yelling or crying out. It's it's not yippity. It's not a more like wolf-like oh, it's like I don't know. It's like taking any of those sounds and putting them in a synthesizer and like squeeze it, moving that stuff around. It just sounds really awkward, but I don't worry about it. The thing I like is when it gets dark and I'm in my tent and I've got everything done. Like I went ahead and got some tuna fish today because I'm running low on my food stamps, which happens every time. It's just not enough, But I went ahead and got some. I got an onion. I got a bag of onions because it's cheaper, and some tuna fish, bread, some sweets and stuff, and I'm full up. Like I'm tired. Like I really kind of want to go to bed. And my bed is right down here. You probably can't see much. There's my pillow. My pillow. This is my, and my gear area. Everything's kind of just like, I got the walls of this stuff. The sleeping bags to kind of contain the warmth, and then over here, I'll use the what do you call this thing? Safety pin to kind of clip it on here, and that keeps the cold out because like last night I got down to 34. What the heck? And so, but the thing is I guess that the rewarding thing, the thing that is that makes the difference, that helps me, is the nighttime when it gets. Right when it turns dark and I'm sleeping, because my sleep schedule's all screwed up. I'll get back here, I'll eat something, whatever time that may be, and I'll just fall asleep for like hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours, maybe all night. That doesn't happen very often, but like I'll be that comfortable. And I've got my jackets are here on the floor, and I have that because like when I stretch out at night, I don't want to touch the ground, which is cold. But I don't know, it's just like the solitude. I wish I was more remote. I wish I was further out, and that's going to be really rewarding, walking down the coast and stuff. But I don't know, man. I look sad. I guess move that up. I don't know what's wrong with me. I am sad, and it's not. The thing is like I said, there's the tomometer. That's my my gauges in my soul, right? I've got my emotional well-being, which is happy, sad, whatever. Then I've got the depressionometer, which is basically a scale of 1 to 10, like how bad is it? Usually it's around a 2, and that's good. It doesn't go into negative, but it could definitely go to 0, and that's worse. Sometimes I feel like it's negative, but then there's the energy quotient, right? The energyometer. Basically, you just take the word ometer and add it to anything. Onionometer, energy drinkometer, rockstarometer, just anything you want, ometer. But like those are really the 3 quotients that I try to balance, and I'm just, I don't know. I'm doing okay, but like I can be emotionally okay, right? I can have a lot of energy, but that depressionometer is down in the dumps, right? And then I'm just suffering, really. And so, I try to self-medicate. I got nicotine. I've got caffeine. Caffeine helps sometimes, but sometimes I'll take a caffeine pill and I'll fall right to sleep. It just depends what my body. Like my body is, like it doesn't react well to medicines or supplements or anything. It might work for a little bit, but then, like I was doing the B1 and the B13. Or the vitamin D or the vitamin C or the zinc and all this other, like I tried all this stuff and it works for about a week or 2, and then bam, I'm back to where I started. And it sucks, and there's no real solution for it. I just have to deal with it. When I start feeling better, like it's weird. Like when I started doing the antihistamines, and that really helped me. I'm kind of on a downward slope right now, but like when I first started taking those, I was like, and I had the, the scabies, and I was in the hotel and stuff, and I was doing the, taking that medication for the itching, but it really helped with the depression. I was like, I remember I got to a day, it had been like 2 weeks in, and I was just like, I was starting to feel uncomfortable, because normally, as soon as I feel good, the other shoe drops, and like the next day I'm out for the count. You know what I mean? Knocked out, and that didn't happen, and I kept on waiting for that to happen, and it finally did happen. But the thing is, I don't feel comfortable. Like anytime I feel with the MDD, anytime I get to a point where I'm feeling good and, I'm positive, I got a lot of energy, the depressionometer's at like a 5, 6, or 7 potentially, I'm feeling good, but it's sad too, because it's like, I know it's going to go away. I know it's going to stop, and I'm going to go back to this, and like I said, I got a decent amount of energy today. Emotionally I'm fine, but the depression it makes me feel like I'm dying inside, honestly. And so, I don't know. I mean, I just had a tuna sandwich. Hopefully, sometimes I eat myself into oblivion, right? That's what you got to do. I've got some donuts in here. I got some other stuff. And, but right now I'm just going to lay down, I think. I started out this video, I wanted to talk about the solitude, because, the solitude is my solace, right? Like, coming out here and being in quiet nature. Yes, I can hear the sounds of stuff out there. I mean, I would prefer to be on a piece of land, 50 miles from everything, really. I don't really want to deal with animals or wild animals, especially cougars, because of my experience with one, but, I don't have to leave the house, right? Or I could build a big cage around the property, and I don't know, but like the solace being out here, because normally when you're in an apartment or something, or a hotel or whatever, there's somebody fairly close by. The closest person is probably 200 feet that way, and that's my homeless neighbor, and is what it is, right? But like, he's a decent guy. He's a good guy. Tries hard, but like, I like being out kind of in nature and away from people. People, especially now, I mean, I'm able to do videos and stuff, but that's on my good days. That's after I've had an energy drink, I've had some caffeine, I've had some food to kind of boost myself up, and I kind of prop myself up in order to, it's kind of like the salesman kind of thing. Like I remember watching, maybe it's Little House on the Prairie, and one of the kids, maybe Albert, the goofy kid, or maybe it's the other one, the storekeeper's kid, whatever, and he's setting up the apples on the little island thing in the store, and the dad comes over and says, okay, we want to put the bruised side to the back, and the kid's like, why? That's dishonest. He's like, no, that's presentation, and it's kind of what I do with the channel, with YouTube, and with life in a lot of ways. And I'm putting the good side out. Sometimes there's no good side, Sometimes it all just sucks, right? But sometimes it's okay, right? But like today, I've had depression. It's more than just a bout of depression. It is, the last 4 days have been just difficult, and they've gotten incrementally worse, So I'm not super happy about that. Normally I can, play with the dials of my healthometer, the tomometer, and I can like boost the energy. And even if I have depression, and kind of uplift my mood by listening to some good music or something, and equal out that, but today that's not happening. I feel like garbage, and I don't know. This is my life, you know what I mean? And the depression is the main reason why. I mean, yeah, I mean that's 90% of the problem is right there, is the MDD causing me to have, you know, I struggle, and it's difficult, you know, and it's like I can't seem to, you know, let's say I could get past my physical problems, right? Let's say I could get past the overheating, the anemia, I could get, you know, maybe a job or something, but it always comes back to the depression. Like that's a demon that I cannot conquer, you know, that's a giant that I cannot take down. It's a mountain, and every time I try to climb that mountain, I just fall down to the bottom into the chasm, you know, and it just sucks. I'm tired of it, and I don't know. I mean, but on the flip side, the solitude, that's one of the things that I count on to help me sort of like, it's sort of my shield in a way, is the solitude. I'm able to come out here and just kind of, there's some days where I don't leave the tent. I'm just in the tent, and I spend all day here, and I lay down. You know, this is not really, it's not comfortable to sit down in this tent, I gotta tell you, but laying down is very comfortable. So, but you know, I get, you know, the sleeping bags and stuff that I got hanging up, they actually buffet the sound. They act as sort of insulation against the sound. So it's that can be nice, because it's quieter in here, and it's like after a fresh snow and everything's quiet. It's kind of like that, you know. Maybe not completely, but I don't know. The solitude, you know. I wish, like I said, I wish I could be more remote, and maybe down the road I will be. Maybe I'll be traveling down the coast and find like the perfect spot and set up and stuff. But the problem is with, you know, I was talking to my buddy Larry. He's such a good friend. But Larry, he's talking to him about my, you know, he's like, well, if you found a place, you know, on the coast, would you stop and settle down? I was like, heck yeah, I would. But there's a big but, you know, near those small towns on the coast, a new person who's walking, like if I had a car, I guess that would be different, but a new person that's walking into town every other day or something gets noticed, right? Even if I had a bicycle or something, I would get noticed, and therefore the law would come and find my little camp spot. Maybe yeah, you know, what I'd like to do is I'd like to build like a permanent little shelter, you know, 4 foot by 8 foot or something like that would have walls, and you know, maybe some bushcraft slash, you know, I get some materials from Home Depot or something and build that, and just have my own little space out there. And it would be proof against, you know, I could maybe get a stove in there. I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I don't know. I'm just I try to look ahead. I try to plan forward. You know, the thing is I do the YouTube because, and I, you know, there's a lot of times when I started the YouTube where I was like, you know, I'm getting all these negative comments and crap, and I just don't want to do it anymore. And like some of the stuff I was putting out there, that was depressing me, you know, and I was just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, you know. And so I almost gave up. But the thing is, you know, I make about $100 off YouTube every month, maybe, sometimes less, sometimes more, and that's enough, you know. And you know, the thing is, I keep on putting out content, and maybe next year I'll be doing 200, maybe 300, maybe 5 years I'll be doing $500 a month, which, you know, the thing is, I can't really do anything else. I feel inept, and I feel like a drain. I feel like I'm not, you know, I just feel like I everything's terrible. Everything's, I just feel like everything is hard, you know. but the solitude helps, right? And so I look to that, and yeah, and the darkness, that's definitely part of it, because when it's dark, although there was some kids out here a couple of weeks ago, and they were all throughout here, and they had flashlights, and I was like, what the heck, but I didn't have to worry about them. Anyway, I guess I'll let you guys go. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, the depression, and the one of the things that brings me a little bit of solace, and that's the solitude. I'm not being affected by any noises or anything. I'm just myself, and one thing I've learned with the MDD is that I can, the medications don't work for me, but I have found a way to manage the suck. I have been able to find, if I'm having a sucky day because of the depression, like I know how to manage that. I know how to cope. What I find harder is if I'm having a really great freaking day, like I don't even know how to deal with that, because first of all, I know it's going to end all too soon, but also it's I'm not experienced with having good days, Anyway, that's all I got for now. I hope your road's a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. Take care.